West, y'all.
I think that's the way podcasts are supposed to be. Oh, that's my opinion anyway.
Yeah.
Just like listeners are just flies on the wall. You know? Just tapping.
It's therapeutic too, eh? Like
Straight up
just mowing my lawns, man. Just listening to a podcast.
Yeah.
Just jamming to it.
Yeah.
Like I was listening to Kurt Angle was a guest on he's the actor on Fury. I don't know his name. And Kurt Angle just sharing his testimony because it's a brother-in-law. Mm-hmm. And Kurt Angle was just sharing about his rise to wrestling and then his drop in wrestling in terms of like the personal relationships. And that was like a solid hour and a half. And then out of nowhere, my lawns were mowed.
We're gonna start around the second time.
Yeah.
No, straight up there.
Know what you mean, man? Because I get that in traffic.
Yeah.
But,
true.
But if I listen to a podcast like stuck in traffic, like there's sometimes if the podcast is really good,
yeah.
then I'll go around the long way. Like get off the middle way and just go the long way home just to catch some of the last bits. But yeah, you're right. The time flies. It's good time.
Yeah.
Time waster if you need.
Yeah.
Like especially if you're doing something else. Like I think when it comes to the audio version of a podcast,
yeah,
that's the best day.
Yeah.
Because you can do other stuff.
Yeah.
While you're getting through an hour of something.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not. And it's. I've said this before, but like for the longest time, I tried to avoid getting on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Getting on video
Yeah.
because I knew the power of audio.
Oh yeah.
And plus, I was camera shy, so it was hard for me to get on camera and put it out there.
Doesn't show you.
But it was, man. I didn't want to do when we first started, because I didn't want to do the video thing. I think a lot of people start on video because they want to, get out there that way and
get that pool lane.
Yeah. And I think I don't know if there's like an art form in regards to like how you do a podcast in video versus audio.
Oh, true.
You know what I mean?
Because
Because I think you have to. I don't know if it's like something. Because when I think about podcasts, I think it's a long form sort of media.
Yeah.
And I always get that in my head, like I don't want to sit down and watch YouTube for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Of a conversation. Like you gotta actually sit down and watch.
Yeah.
But you can't do anything else.
Yeah, it's true.
Whereas audio, you can do something else. You can run.
Yeah.
You can drive, you can wash the dishes, you can,
And there's still something therapeutic in terms of audio, eh?
Yeah.
Enjoying that. Yeah, and that art form is like, I remember like, just watching random podcasts, like someone pointed out there was no books inside the bookcase in the background, eh? And they mentioned something, oh, sorry, I didn't prepare it. Like they don't live normally like that. Yeah. But they were just like, oh, I should have put books in the bookcase. To prepare for the feature of the podcast, hey, that kind of art form, eh? Those nuances, eh? It's so true. But I remember the first one I listened to, I was like, because I work at Onehunga High, and so from Henderson Valley to Onehunga High, it's like about half an hour, 40 minutes, and then go on the grind, and then just knowing that there's bad traffic coming back from Onehunga to home, I was like, oh yeah, sweet. It's like the last half of the first episode back of the 1 through 5, eh? Yeah. Something to look forward to and just like take it all in. I was like, yeah, man, that's so cool. Looking like at the, what happens out west and just hearing those stories. So yeah, it's real cool in terms of the audio stuff and, just the guilty pleasure. Yeah. Just having a pie and a Coke Zero as you drive home.
Or 3, did you say?
And then just acting hungry for dinner, but really you just scoff down a pie and a Coke Zero on the way home.
So how did you first come across podcasts at the start and found out that it was something, this is pretty cool, I can actually substitute my music for this stuff?
I don't know. Like in terms of the community lens, like just listening to Yawn and there was Nixon and just hearing, I was really interested in hearing, like why him and Nate and all of that stuff. And then also listening to because I'm really bad at, not that I should be driven, but I'm not, but I'm really bad at like trying to like read my Bible daily. Like that's a struggle for me. And so podcasting, just chapter 1, and it goes through the verses. And that's in terms of what you were saying, in terms of we're so busy. And podcast is like a troubleshoot solution to listen to the audio while you're doing something else. It was that. And then just the highlight reels of some stories, listening. That's what got me into the podcasting. And then just applying that with my daily in terms of the morning davao. So that's real therapeutic for me. Just going out there. It takes about 2 hours to do the house, which is crazy, you know.
So was it that next episode when he talked about mowing his vow?
The what?
He was mowing his lawns about.
Oh yeah,
he was talking about that, and it's therapeutic. And he likes to like mow his lawns and then sit back and relax with a beer and look at his nice clean.
Because it's a visual representation of the goal. No. Yeah, and he's got like 8 lawns or 8 mowers, Yeah, man. But yeah, shout out to you guys, and what you guys done, and shout out to Eric too. Loyal to BP Glinting.
Oh, thanks, bro. It's cool to to talk to an old school listener.
Yeah,
because that next one was number 20, I think, or 21.
True.
That was back in the. But that's when we were starting to get a guest on.
Yeah,
because we never actually knew what we were gonna do in the beginning because it was just me and friends.
Yeah.
It was me and the first episode was me and Avi. Yeah, and it was just us two for like 5 episodes or something, and then all the rest of the boys started to come slowly on, just to have fun, you know, because all it was just us having a drink in the garage and putting the mics in front of us and having a chat, you know, that was it. Yeah. And just grew from there. But that Nixon one was sort of like a step in the direction we're going to take till now. Like we're going to have a guest every episode and have a chat. And
I remember you saying like in that episode, like in terms of towards the end of the episode, like, you know, like, he kind of led it for you, you know, in terms of that learning. And I was like, that's so true. Yeah, in terms of just letting it flow,
Let it flow.
Because the amount of podcasts there are now, there's heaps now, which is good because when we started, there was hardly anything. And one of the reasons why we wanted to start it, because I was a fan of podcasts because I was listening to it for a long time, like Joe Rogan and all of that. I just loved, and I was doing the same things back then, like listening to it in the car and just getting my day like real quick, you know. Even listening to it at work because I work in the office and I'm just sitting down, just listening all day. So doing that and just loving that sort of medium and the content too, because the content was, to me, especially when you listen to Joe Rogan, it's all about having a conversation. He calls it an interview, but I don't see it as an interview. Because it's not really, because you're going back and forth. Like interview to me is one way. Like the interview asks the question and the guest answers. The next question. But Joe Rogan, he was different because it was a conversation. You know, and it was that trying to, you know, I just love that because you can have a conversation for hours. And a lot of the times, I always first I wondered, like, how come I went for like 3 hours or 2 hours or something, but it's just a conversation. Like if I thought about it, like we have a drink in the garage with our friends, and you know, we're going for like a couple hours, like 3 hours. You know, back in the younger days, it'll be all night and you sort of thing. But it was just that conversation until you slur your words when you get kind of drunk. But just that conversation part. Like, that's the bit that it'll be interesting to our people because this is how we talk. You know, we have these conversations. We have the conversations with our friends in the garages and all that. But it'll be cool to bring it out there. Because there's no other medium where you can hear those types of conversations. The way we talk, the way Islanders, Pacific Islanders talk, the way Pacific Islanders in New Zealand talk. You know?
I mean, apart from the barbershop and with the car park drinks,
Well, there's another thing, the barbershop.
The barbershop,
chat. Barbershop chats. Like, any Pacific Islander barbershop around Auckland, like you get those little chats, you know? It will probably last as long as a haircut. What?
It's
20
true.
minutes, 15 minutes, but it's still that kind of chat.
It's still a chat, yeah. And, you know, like shout out to Fats, he cut my hair, you know, it was half an hour slot, or, you know, but it was cool to chill with him. Growing up, he was cutting my hair, and then when I messaged Letty after the first lockdown, in terms of, can I get a cut? Went over, and then, like, boom, like, from now on, it's like from half an hour now, my wife knows, he's going to be there for an hour and a half or 2 hours, because the half an hour is probably just a cutting part, but we're just having we're just chilling and we're just chatting, just catching up. That's so true in terms of what happens in a barbershop,
Yeah, and that was a big reason why I wanted to do the podcast as well, because there was nothing out there like it. Like, I mean, amongst our own circles, but not like, you know what I mean? It's wanted to get out there, and the other things that I wanted to do it because it wasn't out there. Yeah. So go into a space where it's not there, you put it in there. You know. So
besides, you mentioned Joe Rogan, what else podcaster like influenced you before getting onto that first episode?
I think because I was listening to Joe Rogan was the main one. Yeah. For me, in terms of how I have a conversation. Yeah. The conversation style of a podcast. That was the main one. But then I listened to other ones, like educational ones, like science, like Radio Lab. Because I got into because listening to Joe Rogan, it's sort of what he did. Really was make me regain my interest in learning. Oh yeah. Because I learned so much from listening to these conversations. Yeah. And I wanted me to learn more. Yeah. So it made me want to read books again. Yeah. Yeah. And that's what it did, actually did, because I started reading non-fiction books again. Yeah. Because I used to do this when I was a kid, like in intermediate. Yeah. Until I went to high school, then my priorities changed. But, all that kind of stuff, like, it's funny because if I remember back in high school, like, science was my worst subject. Yeah. I hated science. Yeah. And I think because I didn't really understand it, it was kind of complicated. Yeah. But now, I love science. True. I love learning about the the solar system and how the Earth works and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's so interesting to me now. And I remember I hated science back then. But now, I'm just reading all the stuff, like all the guests that Joe Rogan has on, like scientists and that. It's really interests me. Yeah. And now. Yeah. So that was a big part of me, like, liking podcasts is to learn. Yeah. And then that's when I got started getting into like Radio Lab and NPR and all those kind of stuff, like just learning. Yeah. Learning about history and that. Yeah.
I listen to I think I'm starting on Neil deGrasse's second one.
He's the man.
He's the man, honestly. Like, I listened to his first one, I'm just like, boom, like, in terms of, I struggled in science, but just learning now, having those kind of guests on his podcast, it's awesome to hear and learn at the same time. Yeah. Learn at the same time, Speaking of your science thing, my one is like engineering. Yeah. Like, I'm really interested in it. Like the design, like concept and design. Like I watched those, how the building was made, the Burj Khalifa, all of that stuff. I'm really interested in it, but I'm not qualified or anything, but I'm really interested in learning, how they troubleshoot problems and stuff. Like, it's real cool. That podcast has provided that platform to learn something outside your sphere,
Yeah, it does. So, and it's sort of like, it gives you that sort of like window, to look in other industries, look in other other things in the world that you might not have known if you didn't, didn't search for it or go to school for it. Because that's another thing, because you're in education, and this day and age, like, a lot of education comes from YouTube and even social media. If you look,
that's true.
And just people, like, because I think there's a big thing about experience versus learning. Yeah. Like, if you want to get a job, like, it's all about, you need experience. Yeah. Like, you can have your paper, but if you don't have the experience, it's going to be a little bit hard.
Yeah. Hard out.
Kind of thing. But I think that with education, it's, I don't know, but because you've been in education for a while now, since leaving school. Yeah. So how have you seen the evolution of how things used to be? Because remember back in the days with no internet, you had to go to school,
You had to go to school. You had textbooks, this thick.
Is that even a thing now?
Yeah. Nah, it's not a thing now, Like, so I'm at Onehunga High School, shout out to them. And like, we used to have, when we do enrollments, we have the stationery list. We give it to them once we finish the enrollment. Now, like, that stationery list is kind of like, either it's being reduced in terms of the list or we just don't need it at all, but just depends on the subjects. The universal thing to take to school now is like a device, like a laptop, and like a Chromebook or having a laptop, because everything is going to be on the drive. Like, some schools will have contracts with Google or whatever, and so everything will be on that Google Drive in terms of that cloud-based system, having your files, organizing those folders. Whereas back in our day, 1B5 was mandatory for each subject. And then you had to have the right pencil, you had to have the protractor.
Oh, yeah, true. I forgot about that.
It had to be, HB this, HB that, But back then, like, it was cool though. You look forward to going with your parents to get your stationery, I couldn't afford Duracell, so we had to use wallpaper, but make it look cool. I remember those days. Everyone was looking forward to getting their books wrapped. But now, post enrollment, we give them their email, their login, their password, and then they're all set up in terms of enrolling onto like the Google Classroom with their subject teachers, and the files will be all there. We just done exams last year. Depending on the subject, it was online in terms of taking a device, but then we still had, as a backup, we still printed it. We still mass printed the exams as well for our students. So still trying to provide for both. You still got some students who prefer to do it on pen and paper, and then you still got some students who prefer to do it on the laptop. Yeah.
It's funny how you mentioned the getting the stationery.
Yeah.
Because, man, I remember that's the best thing in the beginning of the year. Like, your stationery was brand new.
Yeah.
You just got it from warehouse, whatever you got it from, and it's all crisp, brand new, and you got all your different books. Your maths book of the squares.
Yeah.
The blue squares and all that. Got a notebook. You got a pile of books that you just bought. It's nice and fresh and clean and new. Then the end of the year is all messed up and tagged all over it.
And you always had to start with a title page,
Title
that
page,
was the first homework. Always had to start with a title page.
Man, the title page.
But I remember back in primary school, it was mandatory to do the to cover the books.
Yeah.
And the Duracell. I remember the Duracell.
Yeah.
I remember my parents were angry because just go like that. Like,
Shout out to was it Caxton's back in the days. My old man used to bring rolls of tape home, and I just get the newspaper, just put it over.
Just a gloss cover,
Yeah, gloss cover. That's good enough.
Do you remember, like for maths, like before the year started, like you got the lines and then you had to do 2 columns,
Oh, yeah. Rule the columns.
You had to be in red pen, Man.
And you had to do it for every page, Like, you move along,
every page,
They couldn't
half it and then...
They couldn't make a book with already.
You'd think, these kids these days have no idea.
Man, you bring back all the memories now.
I'm starting to get a bit hot. I miss school. I didn't miss school.
But like even now, like I still look at textbooks back in those days and try and so I teach history, and so I still got like my textbooks from Carlton because history was the only thing I passed, and so the Black Civil Rights Movement textbook in terms of and how it and just comparing it to the resource that was created or I created, looking at the PowerPoint, it's the information is the same in terms of back then to now. The only like change is probably like with technology now, where we're diving into the author that created that information and understanding their narratives about them creating that, because it gives us a more in-depth perspective on that history is no longer what's set in stone. You're diving into it more and you're looking at the narrative of the person that made that thing in stone. So that's the cool thing about, you can still utilize it, but it's like going in depth now and, why did the author think like that? What was their perspective when they wrote that down? What were they going through? So that's the cool thing about doing it now, yeah.
Who's some of those authors?
Oh, you put me on the spot.
Sorry. But that's good philosophy, like,
yeah.
Because now these days, with all I'm thinking about all the conspiracy theories and all the misinformation that's out there.
Yeah.
Social media and,
totally.
like, now the thing is to actually find out where you got the information from.
Yeah.
And if it's going down to the schools and we got the history book.
Yeah.
Okay, who wrote it? Where's he come from?
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing now.
Yeah.
So does MOE have sort of like a framework with how to pick these historians, these books? And how you said are these the same books from back in the day?
Yep.
When you guys were at school?
Yep. But the range of it expands over time because now you got these amazing scholars who are putting their version of it, or they've gone and done their own research on it and added their own lens to it in terms of what happened during that time. And so adding those different perspectives, you as a student, you look at it and you're like, instead of one option, now you got like 5 other options to select the text and to utilize that to support your point. So the content is expanded, so it's just picking which one you need to support that point that you want to make. I
remember hearing what's his name, Bill Gates.
Oh yeah,
because he reads a book every day.
True.
Like he reads every day. Like he reads books, but he said something about reading a book about a topic and then reading 2 other books about the same topic.
Yeah.
So he can get a different angle on that view.
Yeah.
So he might get a different.
Some
might have a different argument about that same view.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting, but that was kind of like that's good to hear because it's kind of like it teaches the kids how to have sort of like critical thinking. Like don't
decipher
either. Whatever anything is told to you.
Yeah.
Like have this conscience in your mind to learn that don't like go all in. Like figure out if it's like you can easily say if that's the narrative or not.
Yeah.
Like, by just going in a little bit deeper into it.
Yeah.
Like thinking.
I went back and studied to teach, like in 2012, and I went to do history. And one of the papers was like, I think it was like Vikings or something. And one of the themes was like the archaeological lens of it. And I went into that lecture and I was just blown away because I thought when you dig it and you find it, that's set in stone. But now it's I remember the lecturer was explaining to me like in terms of you dig it and you find it, now you add it to the expansion of lenses that is there, and that helps like color the answer you're searching for. It's just like one piece of it all, and I was like, whoa! Like I grew up thinking, as soon as you find it, that was done back then, and that's it. But now it's just like there's so many lenses now, and in terms of you're right in terms of what the kid was doing, the student, they just have to decipher which one they can utilize, and what was I saying? So like my research that I shared with Letzi in terms of like the talanoas that I have about like student having commitment dilemmas with church commitments and school commitments, and then looking at that from middle leader pastoral worker or like a dean and getting their perspective of it. There's so much that's not like written about it in terms of that single focus, but there's heaps of stuff on Pasefika, but that single focus, there's not much written. And so for me, when I attempted to research that, I had to look at multiple lenses or multiple theories, multiple publications in order to like gather my own personal collective understanding. Like I couldn't go out and just, I want to do this. Like I just remember my supervisor telling me, go back and start giving me suggestion readings and read all these other amazing Pasefika scholars and what they've written about before you make your personal like drive, your personal direction. And so in terms of there's so much written that we can't just focus on one thing set in stone in terms of that particular lens.
So what did you learn from all that?
So what I learned is that like it's critical in terms of the people that I researched and their upbringing of like their own church and school dilemmas, and then they were able to pass that good advice to those students that they were focusing on, in terms of helping them with their dilemmas and giving them advice in terms of like, hey, it's okay, if we can work around this, we can manage it. We can give you like maybe extension on an academic deadline, and in order for you to go and serve your church through the anga mea or the practice that you have, and then we can come back to this. We don't have to just sacrifice one or the other. We can merge it. So the underlying thing is that them working in that space, and them growing up in that same space, it helps those students in the future understand time management, also have a talanoa with their parents in terms of, hey, maybe I just stay home and study, and then I'll go to my church practice tomorrow, and that opens up that relationship space between the parents and the student, in terms of the parent can understand, my son or daughter, they're mature about this, they're taking this collective thoughts and decision, and so we want to help them. So it's just them helping each other and just opening up that space. Nothing like no like publication or publicly, but it's more so just everyone just having that talanoa from the parent to the student.
More of an understanding.
More of an understanding.
Because it's interesting you talk about that. Like my oldest girl, she just done her first year of uni.
Oh yeah.
Even when she was doing seminary.
Yeah.
And she had work commitments and school.
Yeah.
And like I think a lot of people don't realize like that's a lot of pressure for a teen.
Hard out.
Like you got to remember, like their brains are still molding to deal with pressure, time management as well as family.
Yeah.
So if you add the mix of church and like extracurricular, like tag sports, like rugby.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure that you
totally.
put on.
And following social media too.
So like even without the influence of social media, that alone, just hearing about it is a lot to deal with. And that can easily be seen as like, oh man, you just need to harden up.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of parents get it wrong, where they feel like, oh man, when I was at school, but it's like the times are different there.
Yeah.
I think the second you start comparing, it's a real like steep street you're trying to chase, sort of like compare.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that you talk about that because, unless you understand, and like have a real actual understanding about it, it's like you got to be a lot more lenient, almost empathetic towards the kids going through it.
Yeah.
And you would see it as a thing as well. Like seeing a lot of kids juggle work, commitment, sport, church, and the rest of it. So
and so totally. And so the key for that is like that dean or that person in that position, just having that talanoa through different levels, in terms of like doing it at a staff briefing, doing it at a staff professional development session or something, and then just organically going and having a chat with those said subject teachers, those heads of departments, and just saying, hey, this individual, all of that stuff.
See, I wish you were a dean when I was back at school, man. There's a lot of, I'll be honest, man, because there's a lot of like, I'm not going to say racial, I would say monkeys instead of Caucasian and stuff like that. But like, there was a lot of pressure on a lot of kids at school, man.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of pressure. Like, I went through it at school.
Yeah.
It's just, it feels like, hearing your side on it, it's like, damn, why weren't the teachers like that back at school? They'd rather just, blacklist this dude. This guy's got commitment issues. But it's never the fact, like people, man. It's crazy, how times have changed. And other people have actually got more understanding on, like, man, not everyone's built to be an all black kid,
Yeah, true.
And some kids just want to come and be kids.
Yeah.
Let kids be kids, man. Like, they got no commitments. Like, why put their pressure on,
Yeah. These kids have lives after 325A, So it's just having that understanding of it, and trying to merge. Yes, we've got we want to put in the pillars of, time management, discipline, self-efficacy, all of that stuff, like that. The things that our parents are doing already to teach them, that after school, you just want them to be like a respectable citizen and care for one another, no matter, creed or colour. But all that stuff comes in those things, by just having an understanding, having a talanoa, and just trying to merge it. And then the main thing that I get from it is like we do all of this, but we do it at a halfway point. We do it at halfway. They have to, the students have to do a bit of mahi as well, because they learn from doing that work. We can't just do it all for them. So that's the other thing that comes from it. You know, we've got all these amazing support systems. We just do it at a halfway point, and they have to meet us halfway so we can help them.
You know, going back to the need for this, like, what was you that discovered that there was a need? That was a thing that no one everyone needs to acknowledge, especially our Pasefika. So,
you know, similar to this environment, the garage, so it was kind of like having a tala noa with my boys, you know, and just having that, you know, like, man, growing up was cool. We had homework study at church. We had White Sunday practice. We had Easter practice. We had things to do at church. But then it was hard coming home, and then, you know, we got all this homework that we need to do, and just having that chat with those boys. So that's like the spark that came about, And so I went back to like my supervisor and my lecturers, and I just asked, like, I want to do my master's on a hybrid of my growing up in terms of my own commitment of school and church, and then I want to hybrid in terms of merge that with my role as a dean at school, in terms of like I'm seeing this happen in front of me, you know, so I want to merge both. And like I'll never forget, it was like 2016, like one of the students that I served, you know, just missed out on NCA, and then I just had a chat. I go, Silly, like, we predicted your results will go well. I'm going into the end of year exams, like, you know, what happened? And then he was just kind of just unloaded and just saying that just had heaps of church commitments going into the end of the year, which was fair enough. And so that was the other like secondary spark as well, in terms of, you know, this needs to be talked about. This I need to do some research about this. If there isn't, then that's even more of a, you know, purpose-driven life from God, to research this even more. We helped that student in the end. He got over the line with some extra stuff. But yeah, in terms of those two sparks, in terms of giving it a go, in terms of, you know, how we can do this. And I remember, I think I wrote in my research, like, I had an assignment that was due on Monday, and it was for science, It was like year 10 stuff. Serious back then, but now, you know, I was just fourth form year 10 stuff, not senior stuff. But, you know, I wanted to go play for like the under 15s. We had a game. I wanted to do that instead. And then I remember Mum was just saying, you know, son, we got to go clean the church. It's our turn. I was like, oh, I don't want to do this. Like, I've got all this other stuff. I want to go play with the boys. And then, you know, so I had to sacrifice that and had to go with my brothers and go clean up the church. It was our turn to beautify the church, which was nice. And then just learning from it in terms of, you know, our parents do all this, and then they have to do their other roles on top of this. And here I am just fixated on my small world, and not understanding. So I wrote that in the research in terms of the symbol of beautifying the church is like another, it just parallels to us trying to beautify ourselves in terms of our understanding of the research that we want to do, get that project done, feel good about ourselves, get that dub with the boys, you know, feel good about ourselves, and do all those little things. If we don't do those little things, then it's not going to work out, and then just making those sacrifices too, But yeah, so kids are still busy. Kids are probably even more busier now, in terms of what they're doing. So it's just how do we support them with that, and working with their parents. Yeah.
You know, with your research, like you talked about the spark when you talked to your kids, and then how many other families is this happening to? Like, how many kids out there?
It's happening to a lot.
Yeah.
Like a lot of families, a lot of the Pasefika families. In terms of what I've seen, and in terms of my time being a dean at school, like it's a lot.
You still see it now?
still see it now in terms of, you know, a lot of our kids, you've got seminary, and then you've got a lot of kids got like the church practices, and then you've got like you know, another group of kids who've got sports, and then they've got in terms of, you know, their families are going to do like, you know, their families are like a brand itself. They have to go perform and all of that stuff. So it expands to beyond church, but you know, yeah, it's happening a lot. I don't think it will stop. It's more just understanding how big that potential machine is, and just understanding, you know, it's okay if you've got church practice, that's fine. We'll make sure we'll talk with the parents, and then let's work out a plan here in terms of the deadline is Monday. We'll give you maybe till Wednesday or Thursday, but make sure that it's handed in on that time. So it's just having that tala noa, eh?
Man, that's what it is, eh? It's just having a yarn about it, man.
That's all it is, yeah.
Man, I'm actually triggered from like stuff that used to happen at school.
Yeah.
Because like if I couldn't hand stuff in, but we had practices, I remember specifically teachers would say like, well, if you become an All Black, your career is only going to be 10 years.
Yeah.
Saying stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
Or like, oh, if you don't hand this in, like, you know, this is going to eventually make this other part of your life fail.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what I remember registering, eh?
Yeah.
So all those teachers, they were like, that man. Flipping monkeys.
But, you know, speaking about those teachers, like, it's important for your research paper to come out, because especially going to the MOE, because how to like deal with the Pasefika kids. This is an extra thing that these Balangi's don't understand.
Yeah.
That we have to go through. That the kids have to go through.
Yeah.
And so if there's like a framework around how to manage kids that have church as their priority in their family, or stuff like that, or, you know, other things like sport, anything to do with outside extracurricular activities, you know, that's got to do with bringing up a teenager.
It's like, do you reckon it's possible that like say at some schools they offer more subjects, you go to another school they offer less? Do you reckon just the fact that there might be lesser subjects, that kids can concentrate more on those core subjects and have less options because they've already focused on what they need to get done?
Yeah.
Whereas if you go to another high school that offers like more, and there's more papers and more homework to hand in, and more, you know, more workload for the kid.
Yeah, like, that's true. Like, and that just depends on the student itself, eh? You got some students who want to fully focus on their senior life and just fixate on those set subjects in terms of like, you know, the sciences, because that's where they want to head. And then you got other students who are awesome as well, but then they also want their whole high school experience. They've never done geography. I want to give geography a go, even though my whole senior, like, fifth form and sixth form, year 11, year 12, I've been focused on chem, physics, you know, and earth science. But so I really want to give geo a go. I see they go on all these trips, you know. I want to give media a go. I see the kids running around with equipment, doing 2-minute movie sessions. I want to get that high school experience of doing other stuff. I remember one of our amazing students, she wanted to do law, so she focused on English, history, you know, all the subjects that require like writing, like good critical thinking writing. Not that the other ones are not, but she wanted to focus on that. But then when I got to her last year, and she was a student leader, she was like, oh, I want to give painting a go. You know, I want to express myself in that. So just depends on the student, in terms of what they want to do.
Because did you know you're going to step into education like when you left school?
So honestly, like at church, I drew cars, you know. I should have been listening to the sermon, but I drew cars. And so I wanted to be a car designer. Hey, you know, me and Ken will draw cars. Shout out to Ken Petia. We drew cars. And so I wanted to be a car designer. And that was the same time coming out of high school was like, I think it was Fast and Furious 1 or 2, you know. So I was like, man, that's cool. And then I applied at Massey Uni, and your artwork is not sufficient, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah. for our certificate course. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, we taking art at high school and that?
Yeah, I took all the art subjects. Like my brothers give me crap, hey, and my friends, they're like, you feel artist, you feel boss, like, and my boys, like I love doing artwork. Hey,
flexing now with your muscles, was flexing. Say it again.
And so I ended up giving social sciences a go. I had no idea what it was. I thought it was just social work, and then because I failed high school, I'd done the certificate course at AUT the following year. And like I loved it. It was a blessing in disguise. The marks were coming back like, oh, you're doing all right, and so I kind of just pursued that at AUT with like a BA in social sciences. And then once that finished, I was working at Carlton Party High with the church boys, out in Central, and we were, having fun, cleaning chairs and having, going on road trips and building marquees and stuff. And so coming out of AUT, I still didn't know what I wanted to do seriously. I didn't know what my life job was, So just ended up going full time with Carlton, and then just going with the boys, and then they kind of put me in sales, and I got so much grief from it from the boys. Like, you treated us your corporate now, like you don't know what the forklift is anymore. And so then I worked sales, and then just working over time, and then I guess it hit like 2010. Or 2011 World Cup year, and then just our minister at church, Reverend Whamalua, he suggested giving Sunday school teaching a go. And I was like, oh, are you sure I'm with these other boys, just on the juice and all of that stuff? I feel like I'm grateful for it. And then a few months later, just gave it a go and just really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed talking to youth, enjoyed using like the Bible as the teaching palette and just teaching. So, like really enjoyed it. Like suddenly I got, this was before devices, I made my own art easel, and loaded it in the car, brought a whiteboard and just took it to Sunday school and just had my program and my lesson. Like I really got into it, And then had about 2012, sorry, and then I applied for Teachers College for AUT and U of A. I didn't get in. They just said, "Oh no, you're not. You don't fit our category." So I had a good talk with one of the directors at U of A, and she just said, "It's just because your background where you want to teach, like history." And that just relates to me teaching Sunday school stuff. You don't have any history background in your degree. You only have social work. So talked with my my then fiance, my wife now, and she was like, we pray for this, like, go for the long game, don't shortcut anything, because if you do teaching now without the history background, you're most likely will just teach junior subjects, and that's not going to make you employable, And so I went and done a year of a diploma in history just to get a history background, and that's the Viking papers and that kind of stuff. So I done that, and then it was 2013. Then I got into Teachers College at the University of Auckland at Epsom campus, and then just really enjoyed my fruits there. Then my practicum at Rutherford, and then enjoyed my time there. That was a blessing. And then enjoyed my second practicum at Kelston, and loved it. No days off. Wanted to do extras, homework centres, all of that with Mr. Samuela. Shout out to Mr. Samuela. But I just really enjoyed the coming back, because it had been 10 or 11 years. I finished in 2003. It was cool coming back. The brotherhood. The old staff that were there, it was real cool.
Oh, they're still there.
Yeah, they were still there. Yeah, it was real cool. And then just got blessed with an opportunity at Onehunga in 2014. That was the start of my teaching from there. But so once again, it was that spark, in terms of my minister telling me to give it a go. Like, there was something he saw in me that I didn't. But I don't want to not acknowledge, but I want to acknowledge, the learnings I got from the grind of Carlton Paria. Just, because I still use those nuances and those stories with the kids in terms of, go get some life experience.
Yeah.
Go learn what shift work is,
Mad love to these guys, man.
Yeah.
I swear, man, like some of them, like I'm in, 38?
Yeah.
So like, I sit on a chair most of the time at work, and I'm kinga just walking up a set of stairs.
Yeah,
bro. And these guys are, some of them older than me, bro. They're machines, bro.
Yeah.
They are machines. Like when you think about tables and chairs, and you think flights of stairs, bro. Those guys, bro. If there's no load, a big lift there.
Yeah.
It's the stairs it is,
Shout out to Stoves and Brasco, Phil, the teachings of it, this is how you carry a table. It will help you in the long run. There's specific ways of doing it,
Is Govia still there?
Govia is now gone to under the same umbrella, but Gold Riggers is his own company.
That's right.
He just does the big marquees, the America's Cup level marquees. Yeah. I worked a couple of weeks. I worked in December with Brasco, and we done a few marquees. So it was nice to go back and be humbled, and they gave me crap. Hey, you're gonna work today. This ain't no laptop here.
That's probably why Ken didn't reach out when they knew he was here. Like, you're not doing anything.
No.
You don't want to come pull out some monkeys? They'll just drop me off to a site by myself.
No, that's cool, man. I think there's something to be said about finishing high school and going off to do something other than going back to school.
Yeah.
Because I think that maybe 2 or 3 years in between high school and maybe higher education.
Yeah.
That's a really good time to develop those life skills. Huh?
Yeah.
Because I think when you come back, when you do that and you go back to school, it's a rejuvenation of learning.
Yeah.
Like you want to actually, I think I want to actually focus.
Yeah.
Because I was the guy that just went straight to uni after high school.
Oh, yeah.
And man, I just mucked around, man. I just mucked around man.
Movies
just going to all these parties and going to the gym and playing basketball every in between.
Yeah,
and, but I never had that appreciation.
Yeah.
I just left high school and went straight into uni, and I was like, man, there's a big world out there, and like this is so cool. I'm an adult,
Yeah.
just free, free. So all this other stuff that
So true.
But I never, and then and then I got my job after that. But then still mucked around sort of. I never had any, thinking of moving up the ladder kind of thing. Just day to day kind of thing. But then I remember when I was at uni, there was older people there.
Yeah.
And they were like hard out, concentrating, coming into class, doing all the work. But they were like 40-year-olds.
Yeah.
In my class.
Oh, true.
But they were always in the front.
Yeah.
Like doing all the work, studying, and I was thinking, wow, man, I noticed that.
Yeah.
But now I get it now, being older.
Yeah.
It's so cool. I think there's something to be said about that. Not like having that little break to maybe do your OE or go travel or go work somewhere to get just to get some like you said, like a little bit of life skills, life experience.
Because that will help with like self motivation.
Exactly.
Give you that spark. Like before Carlton, my brother late, and he was like, what do you want for Christmas? I was like, oh, this was sixth form. I was like, oh, wouldn't mind a PS3. He was like, I'll go get a job then. I was like, oh, okay. So it was that level of you're not a kid anymore. It went over that line. So, and got life experience at Kmart, worked at Kmart Henderson for a bit, to learn and earn some money. But that appreciation, like, man, people that work there, people that work in these other places, they're on the grind, and here I am mucking around with trolleys out at West City, even though I should be working. I'm just chilling out there with Fred. But hard up. I totally agree. That self motivation and appreciation you don't get until you experience something. Hard up.
Oh, that's cool, man. So 2014, you've been Onehunga since then?
Yeah, I've been Onehunga since 2014. Shout out to Onehunga.
Part of the furniture there now.
That's good. It's good. I love my mahi. We got an awesome team, awesome support. I've done a couple of roles there. Just been humbled and blessed to get those opportunities, to be like full-time teacher, and then like assistant head of department, and then becoming a dean, and then just moving on to a new role this year. That the deaning one was just like it was just a blessing in disguise, because it kind of just merged the whole thing I do with the youth at Whamaloa's church back in the day, and what I do there. And then also, I was so shocked at the poly makeup of Onehunga High School, Like, when I got there, I'm not trying to disrespect Onehunga, but I didn't know the area. I didn't know Royal Oak and Onehunga. I just kind of assumed it was, Pākehā and Asians, going there. And I was like, where all these kids come from? And they were just explaining to me their wonderful stories, in terms of their generations coming over from Mangere and Favona, and then going to like schooling out south, and then they jump the bridge, go to Royal Oak Intermediate, and then they come to Onehunga and hearing there, and that's just a generational thing, and now it's just passing on to next generation. So I was like super stoked even more, because there was some of my people there that but also motivated even more to try and be a good teacher to everyone. But it was just a real shocker, like a blessing in disguise, being there at Onehunga High. So now going into a new role, looking forward to working with colleagues and staff there, and we just finished building like a brand new gym and brand new technology building. So just all these new learning spaces that the kids can enjoy. Yeah.
So when are you going to become visiting coaches? But you did have a stint coaching the league programs.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
come on, man. Share your accolades. Go on. Don't be humble on there.
So yeah, cheers, Us. We got league up in terms of senior league, and we put them in at the Nets tournament.
Was that hard though? Because that's a rugby predominant school, eh?
Yeah, hard.
And they've had over the history, I think, even going from '96 where they won the second division final.
They've won a few titles.
Yeah, because we had a couple of guys that came in from Onehunga to Kelston, and I remember in '97, '97 they made the final, and I think they won it.
Yeah.
So they would have finished top of the table of the second division. Then the '98 they came up, and in '99. But they were forced to be a fake because they had beaten some of the I think they had beaten Urahu and Grammar that year.
And they won a national co-ed title as well.
Yeah, that's amazing, man.
In 2012, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Not hard, not at all. There were players who were keen. There were players who were keen to, because league kind of fell after the first 15 season finished, so it was just a easy transition. So there was 2 weeks to prepare.
2 weeks,
like in terms of they had natural skills and they were fit. But the good thing is that we're in the developing division, so But it was cool to bring them all together, and shout out to John Ofanoa and Tony Coughlin, they just, in terms of bringing our teams together and then just training, understanding, what was one of the cores, understanding, the green wall, because our school colour is green, no one gets past the green wall, and then just we won the title in 2016, so that was cool. And then I don't know how I got it, but just got humbled and blessed to be given the coaching award in 2017. We took another year, so it was cool to give that element to Onehunga, adding league to the other accolades that they already have. But yeah, man, hopefully one day, because just to reconnect with the West schools, coming back, that's the eventual future. We'll see, only because my daughter's 2, so I'd love to grow up with my daughter at a school or be in the area. So that's.
Are you hinting you want to come back out west and teach out west?
Oh, be good on petrol, but.
Was that the long-term goal though?
Yeah,
teach out west.
Yeah, that's a long-term goal. But I don't know. But God's plan, God's plan. But working out at Onehunga, it's cool because load up your podcast, and then go out and Just stop for a pie at Glen Eden, and then like stop for a quiche at New Lynn, and then nah.
So you go along Church Street to the lunchroom and then come back. That's the extra 10 minutes.
It's not a bad part of town, Onehunga, because a lot of eateries and a lot of shops. You got Dress Mart there. You know? But it's getting really, really busy. It gets really busy.
Yeah, it gets real busy.
But I think that I like Onehunga Township because I like all those shops on the street. Yeah, because there's a lot of them, and like you can get a lot of good stuff there. You know, and I can't remember. I can't. See, I think of Henderson, and that strip. There's like nothing there, you know. You know, I'd rather go to Onehunga and go down that strip, you know. But I don't know. I think it's an interesting strip. It's like Otahu. So Otahu's got that strip. That's right. All the island shops and all that. And gear Chinese shops, but South Island stuff. And all that kind of stuff.
That's true. But I like the diversity too in the Henderson shops, you know, like, you know, it's parallels, you know.
So when you walk into the shops, do you change your accent like when they start talking to you by accident?
The switch up,
The switch up. Inkia, then Chinese, then Inkia again.
No, I don't change accents.
Just asking those because I thought it was always talking thing.
I remember the Cowston, it wasn't a switch up, but it was always like at the Cowston dairy, it was always like not changing accents, but it was always acknowledging boss, you know, just giving him that respect. But switch up is real. Hey, I've seen some TikToks. Oh my gosh, and then I think one of the boys shared the Aussie switch ups. That is next level switch ups.
I think if you catch any of your boys talking with an Aussie accent after they've been there for like a week, just give them an elbow to the head. Straight off.
It's that nuance. The videos that got shared to me with the Aussie lot, it was like. The switch up there is like the switch up from blue collar to corporate at an Aussie level. Like that is next level. That's funny.
You know, you guys went to Custom Boys. What is it about that dairy outside? What sort of? Because that's got history. There's an aura around
I was last in school
dairy,
23 years ago. No shit, man. 23 years ago, I was last in school. All right. I took my daughter into the dairy because, when I started going back to watch the Fist Thing games, I took my daughter into the dairy, and Bus turned around and he said, "Brother, how are you, sir?"
Yeah,
genuine full conversation. Yeah. Well, he left a couple of people waiting to serve to have a galangoa because I used to go into the dairy every day and buy like a stack of like shaved ham, cheese, and a loaf of bread.
They do shaved ham too.
Also, I used to go buy it, and it came to like $8. This is on my year 12.
Like pre-packed or was
pre-packed,
it like
pre-packed,
okay?
Yeah. So I had to make sandwiches, so I'll be late.
Yeah.
I'll be making sandwiches for the boys, like Leo and here going by my and the teacher will be like, "Why the hell are you always bloody late?" And I'm like, "Oh fuck, I live in Glenfield, sir. The last bus comes from spinning us." But Boss remembered me, but he remembers every old boy face that comes through the doors, man. Yeah. And he has a genuine concern, like, "Oh, how are you? How was your family?" Then like when he saw my daughter, he goes, "Is this your dad?" And then the man cracked the joke like he used to always buy gel from here. That's how you know, bro. Like that guy's fed so many old boys.
Yeah.
Like he's like that guy deserves like a community award, man.
Yeah, I totally talk all that. Yeah.
Because how long has he been there?
Well, I'm like 22, so no, I reckon going by.
So he's the original owner.
I'd say so.
90s, or 80s?
Yeah. Probably like, 94, 95. But that's before my time.
I saw him at Roberts Road a few months ago. Man, still waved out to me,
Yeah.
You know, I was like, this guy's the man. This guy's the real mayor, you know? This
guy's
just man of the community,
Yeah, man. But even his lollies also, like I went in, I was like, counting the lollies. So he got 10 lollies in there. And he goes, "No, man, nothing changed, bro. Nothing changed." Hey, you go buy $1 bag of lollies, there's like 4 in there. This guy said, "Nah, still 10, bro. Still 10 inside the bag."
I remember going during school, and you walk in and straight away you'll be like, "The pies aren't hot yet; they're just warm, semi-warm." You'll give us like a like a honest before we want to purchase. Like, this guy's the man.
What was the school's stance on that shop? Did they have rules against
Yeah,
Guys
there's
just leaving school and going there.
There's no. Only the prefects were allowed across the road.
Allowed, yeah. But we didn't have that big flash fence that they have now, eh?
Nah.
But it was only the prefects allowed.
I got away with it because I wore a senior jumper from year 9. I just walk like if like if someone says you're guilty, right?
Yeah,
you're guilty. I'm not. You just carry on walking like you're not guilty, man. Just carry on all the way in, all the way out, and people are like, oh, but I used to get loads of guys. Oh, sorry, can you buy me this when you go across? Oh, you'll give it back to me when I get back. But yeah, no one needs to say anything. Probably had a couple of Balangi guys. Oh no, that guy's year 13. Oh sweet. Never mind. It was just year 13s and prefects back in the day.
Here we go. We could talk to you on the podcast. Yeah.
Did Waitek have like equivalent or like
our shops are a bit further away, so it wasn't directly. I mean, it depends which way you left school too. If you went Rathgar Road, then you'll go to the Rathgar shops.
Yeah.
If you left the field way, you'll go to Tom's.
Oh, true.
Tom's, yeah. But you had the BP and Lanark shops. So there was, depending on what you liked and where you went to.
There were staples though. On
yeah. Because I remember intermediate. I think intermediate. Our one was Smith and Wong's.
Oh, true.
Smith and Wong's takeaway.
Yeah.
Used to be Arena back then. But when I was at school, it was all about Spaceys.
Yeah.
Like you leave school to go play Spaceys, like Alter the Beast and all those games.
What Spaceys did you enjoy? Oh, that you were good. That you loved.
So this was before Street Fighter.
Oh, true.
Street Fighter 2. So Street Fighter 1. Street Fighter 1 was like one of the hardest games.
Yeah.
To play. Because they had 6 buttons, and the first time you saw 6 buttons, like, what the hell? 6 buttons? What's going on here? So I sort of avoided that game.
Yeah.
But then my best game was RoboCop.
Oh.
Yeah, so it was those arcade games back then, back in those days. Yeah. But I remember there were Spaceys and Atlantic shops, and all the boys after school just packing that place to play.
That's cool.
20 cents.
What year did you finish?
My last year was 96.
Oh, true. Oh, nice.
96, yeah.
A whole lot of musical talent came out of Waitek too, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I used to love going to the talent quiz, eh?
And that's big ups to our music department, eh? Because I think those guys are still there, like Mr. Nightingale, Mr. Dixon. I don't know their first names, but they're still there, eh?
Yeah,
but they've been really good at like bringing up the musically.
Yeah,
like they're really good music department there. Of course, Lapi Marina came from there.
That's right.
Kaylee.
Yeah.
Came from there, like, because our talent quizzes were really good, eh?
Yeah, that was the bomb, bro. Like,
that was.
I should be like, man, I always hit up my boys, man. Make sure I get a ticket. Make sure I get a ticket. That's right.
Just like I didn't know anything about the other schools, eh? But going to school, like, so did you get a ticket to go?
Yeah.
It's like no. But that was the you had to do it, eh? You had to go.
Man.
I never went to the nighttime ones where everyone was invited, but they had like the heats during school, like during the lunchtime.
Yeah,
like it's free. Like you just walk in and watch the heats.
Yeah.
So it's like a what's the program on TV when they
Everyone's Got Talent.
Everyone's Got Talent. Yeah. It was like that sort of thing. So I think the best of the heats, different heats, go to the night.
But it's cool watching the heats though, eh?
Oh, it's cool watching the heats,
the variety of it, eh?
There's some good mock stories about
that.
But man,
I was cool too.
I was so amazed at the courage they had to go on stage and to sing. Like anybody, all the boys, like anyone, like or dance.
Yeah.
It was like, damn, like I could never have the guts to do that.
Well, see, in I think it was 98 and 2002, bro, Waitek's talent quiz was fire, man. Because I remember Kaylee and the girl that always came running up to Kaylee, but they always sung songs and they were like the hot songs, like top 10 at the time. But it was like Carson sort of was trying to feed off that because their energy was good, man. Like Waitek's talent quiz was so packed. It was like, man, we got to do something.
Yeah.
I
think it was our 99 one that was. Okay, if they're doing that, then we're gonna do this. So like a lot of the Fist of Team boys,
the Ranui boys, eh?
Yeah, the Ranui boys, like that was sort of them trying to like, bro, we got to do something, man. We can't just. So I think I remember like Sarah and Isaac and that and Sam Safotu and they're like jamming like EB40, like full on the stage, and I remember just going off. But I remember like the first did like the Jackson 5, but they called it the K5, and they did like a full on skit with like the Bruce Lee, following my finger as well into the Jackson 5 dance. Then they like a see what Afi going on. Yeah, bro, I just remember. I just remember your was it your bodybuilding routine?
Hey, is he serious? He's the man.
That's the most famous thing ever from our talent quest. Yeah. Man, shout out to Vasa. Vasa Tarseli, man. Mate. Also, this guy came to school. I think he came in like third form, year 9.
Yeah,
he was year 9. So he already had abs. He was already Arnold. He showed us what Tupperware is. Packed lunches, protein, bread. Even bro, when he used to when he was doing cutting water and just eating bread.
Yeah,
where he was cutting.
Yeah,
before comp. He's in English trousers. He does have a bread like this. He's like eating it. What are you doing, man? Do you want to drink? I can't drink any water, man. And this guy played rugby as well, bro.
Yeah, that's right.
But he did at the talent quest. He done him and another dude. He did a bodybuilding routine.
That's
Peaches and creamers.
That's right.
Oh, silly man.
That's gold, bro.
Yeah,
because he was king all the lay, eh?
Yeah,
like if we can imagine, like freaking, like Kali Muscle at school. Is a 17-year-old fucking had a body like us too.
Yeah.
And he just had like a sarong on, very playing peaches and cream with the lights off.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
fucking this king on that lay, bro.
So I'll give him the trophy.
Bro, it was a close one, man. Like, but I think Carlson didn't have it over a winner. They just did it for the performances.
Enjoy the entertainment.
Yeah.
Like Daniel Tangaloa was the other one, eh?
Bro, he was another.
He was another eating bread. He was another bringing containers, for body shooting.
Yeah, because those guys worked out at Club Physical, eh?
Yeah,
they all worked out at Club Physical. So like, when Vasa was going there, everyone wants to get big like that, dude. He wants to do shoulder shrugs.
I saw Daniel the other day. He's working. He's a teacher too.
Yeah,
he's working in Wellington.
In Wellington.
St. Pat's.
I think so.
Or something.
So he's a dean down there too. Like he's doing really well. So we done teachers college together. So that was a funny year, man. That was a funny year. That was like after school or after our lessons.
So it was like school.
Still trying to scratch our heads on the lecture content. Hey, then we'll play b-ball and then we'll go. Then we'll go to I think like ground zero, in the city campus, and we'll be there till midnight trying to do our assignments and mucking around and counting our coins for feeds. Still, that was funny.
But he's teaching as well.
Yeah, he's teaching as well. Yeah.
I always knew that King Olele was going to go somewhere, man. So, after school, weightlifting, boys.
Yeah, that's right.
You think weightlifting... Because I'm like amazed it was like that. Because when you're a teenager, your body's not that built for that kind of thing until you're a little bit off. Is it? Or I don't know.
I think it's weird. A teacher, Mr. Jewett.
Yeah.
So we had a teacher. He was a wrestler / bodybuilder. But he used to go off against some of the first team boys, like grappling. Then if not weightlifting, like if he could lift more than Sir, because he was ripped, bro.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that guy Froggy from the Little Rascals? Imagine that older but with a Arnold body. That was Mr. Jewett. Because he still goes gym, bro. Yeah. He's still at Westwave.
Hey.
Yeah, I've seen some of the boys posting, like younger guys, like 2019, 20 guys, posting, just check this legend. Where's Mr. Jewett, man? Because he's retired now.
Oh, see, I was going to ask if he's still...
But yeah, he's still king on the lay.
Yeah, bro, he's good.
Bastard.
He was the one science teacher that I done well at, but that was year 9 or something. I actually listened to him, But he's... another legend, That thing that you're saying about like YTEC's music department, in terms of like, it's important to have those staples, There's people that have been there for years because they pass on their experience. There's a common face when you go back, and they're able to install all their those set systems, or those platforms,
Yeah.
not education, but all around the community, It's good to have those people.
No, that's true, bro. Mr. Parsons and Miss Leahy were for me. Like after 5 years out of school, like just going back, and then walking in and then feeling that.
Yeah.
What are you doing here? What are you doing now? Because I remember Mr. Parsons said, like, if I left school, if I ended up in a factory, he pretty much predicted he'll be getting paid this much amount of money, this much you'll collect a week. And he goes, and if you come back in a couple of years' time and tell me you're at a factory and you're on the same dollar, you owe me a pie. Something like that. And I remember going back and going, so you eat us. You said it was $16.50, I'm on $18. You owe me a pie. But then, when I went back after years, after getting back into the old boy stuff, then you would ask, are you still in manufacturing? Like, yeah, man. And he goes, what are you on now? Okay. Times every year I've been out of school, put that on top of my rate. That's what I'm on. And then he'll just laugh at you. Know, for some it hits, and others you just give up trying to paint a picture for them because they'll never register. And that will come later on in life.
That's cool.
But he was good, man. Like good at like trying to tell you, like man, go pay some bills for your mum. Like, why you just say stuff like that? They just come and eat your lunch and play rugby. Go get a bloody contract, man. Pay some bills. Bastard, he's like, I reckon, go pay some bills, man. Flip.
I would love to get those teachers in the Waitak, those music teachers to come and have a chat, because you're right, man, because that longevity they've had in that music department at their school, over the years, like they've gone through everything, like seeing people come and go. True. But it's the evolution of what they've experienced. We're working there. They've been there for generations. Like, maybe through our time, what are we? We are the X generation, and then the millennials, and then blah blah blah. They've been through that, the different generations of kids coming through, and just to ask them like, what's changed over in the music industry? Like what they're, not music industry, but music education, education wise, and because of man, all the Polynesian students that come through that music department,
successful,
there must be a lot, and if you think Pasefika music, that's one of our things we're really good at. One of our things. Like we were talking about the school talent quest and how I was like looking up, amazed at the performances, but man, we're good at that too because of White Sunday. We grew up
totally
going on stage and performing.
Totally.
And because it was even a bit worse, because if we didn't do it right, we'll get a smack from
man. Because even if you didn't get like a main part acting, a lot of us got like a pass mark for miming, because you didn't hit the song.
The real assessment was like there in the moment, remembering your lines, And if you messed up, no Macca's, no KFC for you.
Bro, the KFC, it was like, nah, man, you got to, I think I did well on my first ever White Sunday. Nailed it, man. Straight to KFC. Not 2 buckets. When did you ever see 2 buckets in Hokongai, man?
It was my daughter's first one, and she's 2. She's 3 now, but she was 2 when we done it because COVID happened, and we done a different version of White Sunday. We done family absence, but the last one was like, she had to do a koloko, and I just sat there. I was like, this is it. This is make or break, and she nailed it. I was so proud of her. But that's because we got so much pressure growing up. For us, we have to nail this, your parents are too busy to come to Angamea, so they're going to come and expect, 100%.
Yeah.
I was lucky at White Sunday because I always got the smallest lines to memorize, Well, other boys were like, "Fuck, you always get the small ones."
Can I just be a tree in the play?
And the kids just come upside, I want to get the long, big A4 lines.
Yeah. Hard up. The pressure, the pressure.
But how was that being a parent who's, like, fortunate enough to have
it's been good. It's such a blessing, and having Leilani, and shout out to my wife, Lorene. But man, the days are just varied. Don't know what to expect. Come home, you want to give her a hug, all of that stuff. Just having someone there, or your blood, and just being able to get that reciprocated, it's my best friend now, and she's 3. But yeah, oh man, that's a good question. Like before that, it was, being on the grind, pursuing this, pursuing that. And then once it happened, didn't know what to expect. And, I can see why through my peers and through other people, like why it's such your life changes, eh? And it gives me confirmation from what I see online in terms of, like why it's a blessing to be a parent. It gives me confirmation about what the oldies say, it's time to have kids, you'll be blessed, It gives me confirmation of what everyone is saying in terms of why it's a blessing to have a kid, because your life changes, like 180, fully, and her whole life's dedicated to her well-being, keeping her happy. Now, where we are now, like we're just getting all right, it's time to have a second one, eh? I'm like, because it's easy, eh? Yeah, we'll try. So hopefully, but very, very blessed and grateful to have this one. In terms of the grind, like I used to go hard till 5:30. Now, like I don't feel guilty leaving at almost the same time that the kids leave at 3:30, because there's the new role of being a father and doing that. Like I don't feel guilty to the team, because the team is supportive too, in terms of you got to go home, and there's something to look forward to. The blessings that we do on our grind, your kids will get blessed from it, from the hard work that you put in. There'll be days when you're too busy, and that happens. I say feel guilty, but also don't feel guilty, because once again, and I'm attempting to understand their perspective. I might be wrong. From their perspective, they're like, "Oh, Daddy's at work," but in terms of splitting that, in terms of he's busy, but also splitting that understanding in terms of he's busy, but he's working for me and the family, so they understand that you're working hard, eh? So that's the other thing about being on the grind, in terms of that I kind of don't believe in that work-life balance. I kind of feel like your work-life balance is like it's a merger, eh? And it's all about how you understand the situation and the environment, and then using that, putting your family where in that environment, where do they sit in that environment. That's what I believe, in terms of because they support you, they want you to work hard, because they know that they'll get the blessings from that hard work that you do.
So you don't separate your home life to work life. You don't.
Nah,
you don't say 3:30. That's it.
Yeah.
How you say you merge it.
Yeah.
So how does that?
In terms of like we've got some people who don't bring their work home, eh? Whereas like in my role, in terms of merging it and having a good system, I'll wait till like my daughter and my wife are asleep, then then I need to like get rid of those emails, because it's heavy on my mind, and I don't want it to be heavy on my mind when I sleep. I'd rather have a clear conscience that I've achieved all I need to achieve in the day. It's going to happen later in the day, and it's not going to happen now because I've got that family time, but it's just merging that in terms of, I'll do this later on. I won't wait till the following day, because it's heavy on my mind, and I don't want to sleep with like work guilt,
But that's like a modern day version of being prepared. Prepare for the early bird catches the worm. You're just doing it before you're getting out of bed.
Yeah.
So you're pretty much pre-packing it. Like you got a game tomorrow.
Yeah.
Get all your boots and that stuff ready now.
Yeah.
So when you wake up in the morning, you can just up and go.
Yeah.
That's perfect, bro. That's solid.
Hard up.
It's all about time management, eh?
Yeah.
Like with your research you did with that time management stuff, like how much has that helped you now? Like with your work and family, like you probably look back and say, man, I learned about this. Like, this is exactly I can use what I've learned or my research into how I manage my my work life.
Yeah, that's a good question. It's helped me now in terms of that level of understanding it, because once you understand the the demands of whatever's happening, then you're able to like look at it and just plan it, like what you're saying, like plan it in terms of do this in the AM, because or have you ready by the time it comes to the PMA. Just having that lockdown pack. If there's something that if there's a situation where it's just not going to work, that's where we need to do that phone call, have that talanoa with that colleague, that client or whatever, in terms of, hey, can we troubleshoot this together over the phone? Do we need to go and meet? Can we just do this over the phone? That kind of stuff, eh? It's just having that talanoa. With that's how I see it. Yeah,
and that's different, eh? Because for the longest time, I think back in the days, like when things are set, you just have to change your time to go around it.
Yeah,
you can't actually question.
Yeah,
like, oh, sorry, I can't make that. I need a, But now, like, say a position higher than you.
Yeah,
says you got to be here this time.
Yeah.
That's it. And we think that's it.
Yeah,
but we don't have the mindset to like try to negotiate. Like, can we go around this time because I can't make, like, I need to do this.
Yeah,
sort of thing. Like, it's prioritizing, prioritizing and and make sure that the people above you that they understand that too. Like, what? Say if I'm the boss and I'm sitting in times or meetings and that, like, I have to actually understand who my workforce is, what their culture is, if that's anything to do with it. To understand. That maybe I can't have a meeting on Sunday at 11 a.m. That's just extreme thing about it.
I know. And there'll be times when, unfortunately, the person on the other end of you is going to be like, I can't, we just have to do it at this time. There'll be times when you just have to, kind of like shut up and just turn up and do the work. But then during those times of, trying to troubleshoot, the key in that troubleshooting, that talanoa part, is the acknowledgement, like, look, hey, sorry to disturb you. Hope you're well. I just want to let you know I'm just going through a situation. Are we able to? So just having that intro statement, that acknowledgement of them, seeing how they are, and then just going through. Just need to sort this out if that's okay with you. If you've got 5 minutes of your time, just having that acknowledgement of the reciprocate of the other person. That's another key too.
Because when that filters into the corporate world, that's when it's gonna really affect our people, like, in a positive way.
Yeah.
If they realize if they understand what's going on down there.
True. Yeah.
Corporate
world's a beast, eh?
It is a beast. Like, and I think with diversity happening around the world and all these kind of things happening with diversity, like trying to understand, trying to, like, not to make it a token thing. Yeah, they just do it just to tick a box.
Yeah.
But to actually understand, like, you need to.
I don't know.
Especially to get the best out of people,
Get out the best of people.
If you want an efficient person whose morale's like at its high, you gotta obviously understand and what gets them going and what are they reaching for that's gonna get you the best for your company or whatever corporation you're working for. Like, you can only sort of like fake that stuff long before the cracks start to show. Man, I see it happening in a lot of places. But if you don't have happy staff, you don't have production, you don't have efficiency. And you hit people days off, coming late, on their phones, stuff like that.
That's true. Yeah, for you to be at your peak,
Yeah, man.
You want to feel well supported, and
because mental health comes into it as well. You know? Like, it's the pressure of your home life, your cultural home life, if you like.
Yeah.
And just to get that in there and help with that. It also goes into to decolonization as well, because especially with living in the Western world, or even living in like the capitalism world kind of thing with the corporate world. Like, if they want to, like you said, if you want to get the workers at a level where the morale is really high, it comes it's not just money for us.
Nah.
Right, it's a whole lot of. It's more than it's money, family, it's church.
Yeah. And it's like when it comes to whalavilaves, and or funerals,
exactly.
It's the understanding that it's not a 2-day thing, it's probably going to be like a fortnight thing, like a 2-week thing, and then just having them have that talanoa and understand, like, look, this, you won't see said name until, until 2 weeks, that's when the healing process is finished. You've got the funeral and family service, and then the healing. That's when you'll see them, and when you see them, that's when they'll be, they'll feel well supported and stuff like that. So it's getting that corporate world to understand, which some do,
I had the privilege of living in Samoa.
Oh yeah,
and working there.
Oh nice.
And I worked for a company, Australian company.
Yeah.
That has an office in Samoa.
Yeah.
But or Samoans that were running that office.
Yeah.
Right. And I was working there for 6 months, and man, you can take all that Western world stuff out of there because there was nothing. Because man, it was so good. It's so refreshing to do the same job I do here over there.
True.
But in a different sort of lifestyle, because it was like work was third down the list of priorities.
Oh yeah.
This little church family didn't work.
Nice.
And that's the attitude I think over there, because everything's relaxed.
Yeah.
Nothing gets done quick enough. Everyone's like just chill.
Yeah.
There's no stress at all.
That's cool.
No stress, and you can just go if you got family stuff. Just go.
Yeah.
That's it's like, man. So I was so like, man, I was so happy there. Like so like relaxed. So man, I can't believe this. Man, I want to stay. I want
How long were you there for?
Just 6 months.
Oh, cool.
But I came back. And then it's a different. I come back.
Yeah.
And I have to catch up because I'm so relaxed. There's no such thing as working hard over in Samoa. Because you can't work hard. Because it's funny. Because when I went over there, right, I started work.
Yeah.
Man, it's like I was in New Zealand mode, working mode.
Yeah.
So we work hard and
our
normal working hard over there.
Boxes. Yeah.
They're looking at you like, what the hell? You're crazy. Like slow down, man. You just like I had to learn to go at their pace.
Oh, so it's like relearning.
Yeah, relearning.
Unlearning.
Yeah, unlearning the work ethic.
That's cool.
Work gets done, but not as how we do work here.
Because it's not on the.
It's not on any time. It's not on time.
Yeah.
Nothing has a time over there, and that was so different to me. I couldn't really get used to it the first couple of weeks or first month even. And then when I did get used to it, I was like, I'll put my relax. Then
I can imagine your drive home after that first month. This is sicky, man.
No traffic. Man,
that sounds like my cousins that work in the mines over in Oz, man. Some of them, they like, how the 5G and the fiber line they got laid in the ocean right across to Australia. Well, I think from one point in Australia all the way up to the Northern Territory to further up, it must be trying to link to Papua New Guinea. But my cousins that work on that rig, they reckon that they had a PUMI supervisor, so they get paid no matter what. They're on the clock. They got like little chicken sort of like facilities where they got to make sure that everything's all geared up. And if they forget a tool, like my cousin reckons it's like a 4-hour drive there and back. Whoa. Like a couple of days, like they literally jumped in the car and he was like, the toolbox, this is the pumping guy, just jump in. They just start driving. They stop and get some lunch, carry on driving. They get all the way there and they go, you forgot the toolbox. Turn around, come all the way back, stop at our pub. Oh, it's almost knockoff, might as well have a beer.
Yeah.
And they've done nothing, man. He said trying to get used to that was hard, even though it sounded real good. But he said by the third week, he was there like sounding like the supervisor. Just like, oh, what time are we going to leave? And he go, after this one. And just, we'll go tomorrow. Like, these guys are getting paid, man. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Sounds like the good life, eh?
Good life.
Man, it is, man. It is, because like I said, man, same job.
What were you doing there? Yeah.
Because I do architecture.
Oh,
so I went over there. And same job, same everything, except different lifestyle. And that's the difference.
Yeah.
And that's a big difference, man.
Yeah.
And even coming back here, like I had to catch up big time. Like, I wasn't working fast enough, and I had to remember how I worked here.
Yeah.
Like on time, deadlines again, and man, it took me like a few weeks to catch up again. That's what Samoa does to you, man. But it's cool because family's there,
Yeah.
And family comes first in Samoa, no matter what.
Man.
No matter what.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what you have to get used to.
Yeah.
Like, how over here and you work and your family member passes away, you need 2 weeks off, or for the funeral and all that kind of stuff, or a week off or something. Longer than what the barangis take.
Yeah.
The barangis just go that day and come back, and that's it. But over there, just you don't have any worries of that.
Yeah.
No worries of sick leave. No worries of
nice.
Any of that stuff. Annual leave. No worries of that. You just, if you want to get paid, come. If you don't, stay home. And that's it. But yeah, it's just different there. But I think, see, they wouldn't have a problem. Oh, they don't have a problem because there's Samoa.
Yeah, yeah.
So those problems that you described in your research.
Yeah.
What Samoan families or Pacific Island families here are dealing with.
Yes.
Living in Western world.
Yeah. Because of the Western demands, eh?
Because of Western demands, exactly.
Yeah.
Can you imagine living in Samoa, no Western demands, nothing.
Yeah.
And you just go there. You can just see in your head how you can't even understand until you go do it.
Yeah.
Until you go over there and, like, you're a teacher, go over there and work at the school. And just maybe for a year, just experience.
Yeah.
And you'll come back, you'll understand what I'm talking about right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's cool. But hey, no, that's on the bucket list too, to teach overseas. But yeah, to do it in your homeland day and just experience it. Like, what was it like with your new workmates overseas? Like, what, in terms of them teaching you to unwind, what was that like for you? Like, was it similar to his stories? Like, we'll just go tomorrow after this round.
No, it was just observing, seeing what they're doing. Like, people they would come late, leave early, and go long lunches, that kind of stuff. But it's all good.
Yeah,
sounds like the lady I work with. Comes late, goes break first.
Yeah. And looking around, like, should I? Like, I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy just had a 3-hour lunch, or something like that. I come to work and no one's there yet.
Yeah.
So I have to open up myself and stuff. And, it's that kind of stuff I have to get used to, but I'm just me observing. Nice. But as far as my workmates go, they were cool. Like, they were just normal. Like, just...
Man.
Yeah, it was different, man. But it was a good experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. And I would love to go back with my family and live there again and do it again. Yeah. That kind of stuff. But
that'd be cool.
It's cool, man. It's cool to experience. So at Onehunga, is there a statue of Press Form over there? Onehunga?
Oh, that's right. Nah, there isn't, but yeah, that's right. Onehunga, they've got a few alumni, and through the different like, what's the word? I don't know, faculties or something, like sports, business. Business is huge in terms of business alumni, like medicine, the arts, that they acknowledge. So it's real cool to see, and it's real cool that the students get to see it in terms of like guest speakers, assemblies, and whono nights. It's real cool to see that stuff.
Oh, cool. Was that always there when you started in 2014? Was it there, that kind of stuff?
Yep. It was there. It was just, different iterations of it. So it was cool to see that. They do, like, one of the things is the health whono that they do. And so they get ex-students from Onehunga who are doctors and nurses and working in medicine. They come in and do, like, guest speaking, and they do dinner, like, on a Thursday night, like, once a month. So it's real cool to see that.
That's holiday.
Yeah. It's real cool to see that stuff, eh?
Does Custom have that? Does Custom Boys do that kind of stuff?
I think they
or they just do the KOB?
Nah, they did the careers one. They did a careers one.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was for the school leavers, eh? That's the one that, was it Mosse didn't know? One of the, he's an old boy, he went back to teach. But he put it on. He took over sites. Yeah.
Pat Mosse, yeah.
Pat, yeah. So he did one, and they had about a panel of maybe 10 old boys, ranging from like the army, police, to like entrepreneurs, even like I think mortgage hub as well. So different variety of career paths, but just everyone came through the same gates, So it goes to show, like, doesn't matter what you want to do, it's on yourself, really, on the individual. I think DJ Forbes even spoke, but I was like, saying, man, you guys got to rip that, like, get a pod for it, eh? But then I don't know if I think they might have recorded it, but nah, they didn't get any audio, I don't think. But those are gems, man, having all those guys that were there that night.
Yeah.
It would be a fly on the wall, eh?
How are they? Just their stories of what school was like for them, and yeah, that'd be cool.
That alumni stuff at Onehunga, that's really good, eh? Because I think, when I think about that, it what brings the school, especially past kids, to come back and actually do stuff. But it does a lot of things that kind of building that kind of culture in the school. Like I think other schools do it organically. Like I think with you guys, with Castle Boys, it's organic, the KOB stuff. Right?
Yeah.
It's just stuff that you guys did, but there's a thing there. It's a thing. It might not be official from the school, but it is a thing.
Yeah.
Whereas the alumni stuff, that's official school stuff.
Yeah. And then there's like other schools, like up the road from my house, I see the sign, like the Henderson High past pupils. And my wife went there, and so they do stuff. And then, like, I'm sure Whitesec does stuff too, eh? Like,
I think they do, but I don't really see anything.
Oh yeah, okay. But no, like the Onehunga one is real cool because they, for the alumni one, like they do a full on acknowledgement of, and they give them a blazer and all of that stuff. And then they have the time to have those organic ones with the past pupils as well. So it's like it's the bit of mixed for both. So it's real cool.
It's something that I see a lot going on in America, in the American schools, you know?
Yeah.
Because those ones they're huge when they get involved with that kind of stuff. Like, but it builds that kind of belonging for anyone that goes to those schools, you know? And I think that's what we need here.
Yeah.
With our schools here, or with anything, because it goes into a lot of areas like sport, like the sports team in your school.
Yeah.
Like,
true.
You know, and it develops, you know, like if you go like say one of the top schools, like they're into rugby, like De La Salle and all that. Like you got the old boys going to watch those games. You got Castle Boys, the old boys going to watch Castle Boys. Like
big following.
It develops those big followings.
Weasley and Grammar, Grammar Kings. It was all the schools with the 100+ years history.
Yeah. So see, if you look at those schools and look at other schools without that alumni stuff, you know, there's a big difference in the people that go to watch those games.
Oh yeah, true.
And it doesn't have to be because you're a top rugby school or top sporting school.
Nah,
it's just a fact.
Yeah,
the fact that you've got these platforms in place where the ex-students are connected back to the school in some way.
Yeah.
You know? And I think if you force that upon the school to do that kind of stuff with the alumni, then it helps. It helps in the long run. Yeah. With anything that's got to do with the school's advertising or the school's participation in anything. Like it brings a following, it even brings money back to the school. Yeah. You know? Yeah, I remember like at Carlton I was doing a delivery to Auckland Grammar and it was like I think they were just opening the Old Boys Pavilion or something, and because heaps of the old boys made a contribution to the building, so they were part of the process, Yeah. So that was real cool to see. And the opening was like a rugby game for them, debuting it in front of the rugby games, and that would have been huge. Families and that turning up, but also just instead of just the one event, just getting them involved in the process of it. You know, putting in some. Yeah, all these big Ivy League schools have got their building. I think St. Peter's got one, St. Kitts got one, Grammar's got one. I think La Salle have that mentoring program that they do, they run through their school, which is sort of like another way of going back. But yeah, any alumni that's sort of solid, generally that's how you sort of want the school to sort of, you know, because I know the Ministry of Education don't really give like funding, like it's not accessible as. It's not as easy as what people might think or like parents might think, because they have that alumni to sort of lean on to sort of just contribute back to the school. It helps, Yeah, it does help. And I think with these big schools like Auckland Boys, you know, like yeah, of course they got heaps of alumni with a lot of money. Like they get a lot of money, but it doesn't have to be like these big schools doing it. Like the small schools that are struggling in the low decile areas, like that need money. Like maybe develop a culture in your school that has this, so people give back.
Yeah,
you know.
It doesn't necessarily have to be financial too. It can be just time, man. Just volunteering. Just volunteering. Yeah. Massive difference in how your kids will enjoy the stuff outside of school as well as participating in school stuff. That's what I've seen.
I remember taking our Onehunga under-15s to play Kelston the year before last year, and it was cool. It was just obviously the first 15 were playing later on, the Kelston first 15, but after our game finished, like they brought out, they were selling merch, they were selling sausage sizzle, it was real cool, and all the families were coming together. So that's another way of, past people's coming in, on those events. Like no formal thing, but just a real cool vibe, It was real cool to see, and I think I caught up with Fasa'o that day too, and he was explaining this is what they do.
Yeah.
So that's me.
Even having like I'm always going back to what America does, because we can take off them what they do, because even having a mascot, I think schools have their own colours.
Yeah.
But just adding on to that, having a mascot, having something like a tradition.
Yeah.
Have you seen those traditions they have in the schools over there in America? Like they have these funny.
I've seen the high school pranks where they try and steal the mascots and stuff.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
I remember on YouTube. So one high school that there's a tradition every first game of the basketball season. Everyone's quiet in the stadium for the first 2 days. The first team scores 10 points or something.
True.
And then they all go. They all like throw toilet paper in the air, and they all the toilet paper goes on the court, so they have to stop the game.
True.
But before the point is made, the whoever scores 10 points first, it's just dead silence.
Fuck.
It's just dead silence, and no one's talking, but everyone's packed. It's packed.
Yeah.
And it seems weird because all you hear is the squeaking of the shoes on the court and the bouncing of the ball.
Yeah.
And it just seems weird. Everyone's just standing still, just quiet.
Oh, look that up. That's cool.
And then 10 points, and then they all get up, throw toilet paper, and so apparently that's a tradition for that school. But then all these other schools have different traditions like that.
Yeah,
like a different stupid thing they do. Like I think last year there's a tradition in Tennessee where they take the fans come down and take the goalposts down.
True.
They take it off and throw it in the river
at the end of the season.
Or if they beat the top team or something like that. If they beat a team above them, that's something like that. Yeah. If it's an upset.
Because that adds to the feature of that school.
Yeah.
From a prospective parents or families who want to go there, too.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
These are little stupid things they do, but that's exactly what it does.
Yeah. Just adds to the picture,
That's the whole thing.
That's me.
And America's good at doing that.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
And that's why they generate a lot of fans, generate a lot of money for their teams, because they do all this kind of stuff. And if you're a part of that school, you have a belonging to this. You're proud of that school, no matter what, win or lose. Yeah, it's all about winning or losing. Like,
what that reminds me of was, the movie Stomp the Yard. You know how the guy who's that choreographer dancer for Chris Brown, and when he's trying to pledge his his frat, and he's in the air about it, and then they have to go do those fit-outs for one, but they don't know where they're gonna pledge.
The hazing game. Yeah.
It's I think it's one of the leaders of the other frat house says something to him like, Mugamazai is the biggest alumni. You can get one phone call, get you straight into any job you want, And then when the other guy told it to him, he was like, "Hey, what's up, man?" And he was just having a conversation, and he goes, "Bro, Mugamazai is offering me like all these things. What are you gonna offer?" And he goes, "Nothing." He goes, "But if you want a brotherhood that's here forever, and then here and outside of when you leave." Come to the crowds. Yeah. And then he's like, man, thinking about it, it's something. Right. And it's not until they do the reveal themselves with the under their hoodies, then they have a face off with the other frat. And it's like, walk at it. It's like, bro, I said these guys pitch for a brotherhood,
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool. It's like, damn.
Bad. What's architecture like?
Oh, I'm over it now. Eh?
Yeah, for real.
Doing it for 20 years. And
True.
I'm over it. Yeah, it's good. It's good. But I think it's a profession that it depends what your goal is. Like if you're into designing, into putting a building there that wasn't there before, and it's there for 20 years, 30 years, and if that's your goal, then that's a good goal. Yeah. If you're in it for the money, well, it's better to own your own business.
Oh.
And not for it. Don't work for anyone.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What any highlight reels, like projects that you
we did do you know the Hellman building and the airport? Like when you go to the airport, there's that big roundabout.
Yeah.
First one, I think.
Yeah.
And then there's a building on your right.
Oh, yes.
Like on an angle.
That's the glass one, eh?
Hey.
Glass one on the angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that.
Should I drive past that every day?
Fuck.
Yeah, we did that. Man, that was a nightmare of a job.
What was the whole ethos of the...
Oh, it was...
Like being on an angle.
It was supposed to... I think it was supposed to be a turtle. Or something like that. Or something coming out of the ground. Because it was supposed to match the landscape. Because the landscape around the airport, they've got this landscape architect that doing all that. Yeah. The airport. They've designed this sort of... I don't know if you've seen them, those dunes.
Yeah.
They go up on the angles and come down. Yeah. So it was supposed to mimic that.
Oh.
But it was like something... It was like... The whole concept of that building was something coming out of the ground, like an animal coming out of the ground.
True.
Like a turtle or something like that. Oh, fuck. I can't remember. But yeah. But the original materials were not that material.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That you see.
Yeah.
Like it was supposed to be something else, but it was too expensive. So we had to find a way to put a cheaper material on, but make it look the same.
Oh.
Yeah. So that angle you see, I think it was... I think it's the iron. We used roofing iron for the front. For the top, angles up and down. Yeah, we used that instead of the stuff we were supposed to use. Oh, yeah, because
that's cool, man.
It was too expensive.
But
that was a job that I think one guy left because of that job. Yeah, it was a stressful job. I mean,
hey, what firm are you with? Or
this firm in.
Okay. Yeah,
in town, in Queensbury.
I'm like, that earlier question. Like, this is some of the little things that I enjoy and that I like to watch clips on, and like I drive past. I think I was driving past the. I just took my cousin, my sister, to the uni building, and then I drove down Commercial Bay and I saw that PwC building, and like I was just fascinated at why it's like that. It's fully glass, like I'm just fascinated by the designs and the thinking behind it. Yeah, that's real cool.
Well, I think there's a trend in New Zealand to give designs to overseas companies.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think there's that trend happening because we're doing a project in the airport, the new mall, the new shopping mall.
Be a new mall there.
Yeah. They're gonna
inside the airport?
No, outside. It's gonna take over the golf course. It's the new it's like a more like Dressmart.
Where's the golf course?
Surely. So the drive range, you mean?
Driving range.
On the left there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think no, the actual golf course.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That goes all the way up to the not far from the what's it called? The cemetery, eh?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Have you seen the foodstuffs building?
Yeah, that's
that corporate building.
That's too.
That's it's amazing. That reminds me of so I follow Formula One, the McLaren team building, on a lake and circular. It's real cool. See, that's my I'm into it, eh?
Also, I got to ask you a question, man, because I never got to ask, but when you're like, because you were studying and you've only had baby like in the last 2 years, so she's 2 this year, or 3 this year, eh?
Yeah.
Where did that inspiration come from within you, or like to want to reach higher? If the whaiwhai didn't say to you, like, go for it, like where did you draw that from? The inspiration to just, knuckle down and do something serious. Was it baby, or was it family, or the long game, like
the long game? Yeah. So the one of my day ones, like, and George PCA and these him and my other boys, like Justice and Justice Kamu and Ken Solopekia and Whawai Nelly. So like, you know, we're tight, and I mean we've got the other boys who are tight with us, so we've got like Harry, Sots, Sam, and then we've got like Fera, Fats, and Maz. So we're tight, eh? But in terms of like, you know how you have boys who are with you and then you see what they're doing? And so it was just seeing Ave, George, it was just seeing Ave go overseas, like in 2011, when he went overseas, because he was playing Blues here, and, you know, Blues is my team. And just having one of the boys play for the team, I was just, you know, in awe of his work. But seeing him become a, like, this is me, my lens. Seeing him become an adult and move overseas to another professional contract with his wife Jess, that also made me like, man, it's time to be an adult now and do adult things, eh? And then but acknowledge the other important factors of it too, in terms of seeing someone be successful, but then also by that time. It was 2011, so by that time I was 6 years deep with my wife Lorraine, you know. So, you know, it was time to do stuff, be serious with it, eh? In order to, because she had her goal, and so I needed to, and her goal was to be a police officer, and so it was just having that, you know, getting her goal and my goal and being that adult there. And then the other part was, how can I better serve my family? You know, I'm serving my family, yet I'm not, I feel like there's another purpose of me outside of the current job that I'm in. So how can I better serve them in terms of my mum and my brothers? Because it was just us, and put more on the table in terms of like financial contribution. So merging that with a passion merging that with, you know, something that I feel like I'm good at, I guess. In terms of teaching, that was the collective different reasons that came together in terms of, okay, it's time to grind and be an adult. You found your calling. The Lord has also spoken in terms of your prayers, like this works for you. You'll be good at this. So it was just those collective things that made that one answer to go for it and invest in yourself.
Yeah, because I remember you telling me some of the hurdles, but some of the stores and trying to get over the line because it felt like I was too busy.
Yeah.
And then when you got there, it was like, damn,
yeah.
It's there now, you know.
It's there.
You've gained, you're on the other side now. How's it been now?
Do you mean having a child, or do you mean
all of it? Because it all sort of fell into place, right? It was about timing. It was about just not giving in.
Yeah.
Resilience, and then knowing that you can come talk about it.
Yeah.
Oh, you got that off your chest. Knuckle down and carry on, you know. Because it felt like when you were going through it, like especially your last papers. Yeah. I remember feeling the energy with you and being like, "Kalofai also." You know, I always say to people that come and study, shit, the struggle is temporary. Yeah. The greatness and the reward afterwards is bigger because it's everything for you and especially your family. You know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So in terms of like what happened lately was I remember sharing with Letty. I was like, sorry, this is hard, you know, just writing, self-discipline, telling yourself, okay, 800 words by 11 p.m. Like, never gonna happen because I'm watching NBA highlights.
I know, but the funny thing is when you can tell me before I've even asked, did you watch the game? how are you watching the game when you got some papers to write?
I know. And then just looking in the other room and seeing, you know, my wife and my daughter, you know, and like, man, they're allowing me to be isolated in my office to work, and yet I'm not working, so not working hard enough. So it's like feeling guilt, feeling guilt that I'm not working. You know, I'm watching, you know, the NBA stuff. So it's feeling guilt and then I guess there comes to like a end point, under of all the busyness that you do. It comes to the end point like you just need to shut up and just go for it. Shut up and start typing. Shut up and start and just going for it. Don't worry about the grammar errors. Don't worry about if you missed a reference, you'll go back to it. But if you just start typing what's on your mind, and then, and you're passionate about your subject, then that will come. So that's the other thing in terms of just, of all the busyness that you have, just doing it, just doing it. Yeah.
And I think with you, like with your goal, it's you and your wife's goal. Anyway, it's like a collective one for you guys to get out of, do what you guys need to do to get where you want to be, and this is the things you got to go through. And I think having a supportive wife is a big part of that too. Like, because you guys are in it. Me and you are in it
together.
Yeah, we're in it together. Yeah,
we know the struggles we're gonna face getting to our goal.
Yeah,
we just gotta go through it. We'll go through it together.
Yeah,
it'll be even more better.
Yeah, the benefits of it.
The benefits of it. Yeah.
Because even on top of like becoming a homeowner, doing renos as well as doing the bit of your paper. To me, that's what I mean. It's like, to me, to come out of it, bro, like, that shows that your humble beginnings has made you that much taller and stronger. Because knowing that, like, bro, no matter what was chucked at you, you got it done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's rich, bro.
Thanks,
that's rich.
And the path wasn't straight, The path was staggered, I remember like unraveling to my brother Fitz, just the reno struggles in terms of like it's not happening, in terms of the kitchen. But I want it to happen. I want the deadline to meet, and then, but it was out of your control. It was no one's fault. But just getting the support from him, my wife's family, huge support, and then also Ave. I remember unraveling to my brother, and then I was walking the Henderson Valley Loop, and the AUT, my supervisor was just like, oh, where's the deadline here? And so it was just the pressures, and honestly, I just wanted to uppercut the trees at Henderson Park, like it was raining, and then just getting support from texts of support from my wife's family, my family, and then from the boys, Ave, and just like, let's have a talanoa, let's have a chat tonight. Just to go through it. I mean, it was really, really appreciated it, went home and just like, kakaloed on it, like, we're going to get through it. We're going to get through all this hurrah. And that's where it comes to your support systems, Yeah. The support systems are crucial, whether it's blood, not blood, your day ones that, just unraveling to them, the things that you go through. Yeah. But just, can you not
add on to this guy's
the reason why I wanted you to acknowledge it, because I like this, like, I love that you've understood the time factor now. You understand the time factor, but not only that, it's the reflection. Like, if you can look back on this tape years from now, you can go back in that point in time and be like, "Fuck, that was hard." It was hard. But when you've come out of it, you can look at it and say, "Man, the Lord chucked all these things at me, and I'm still standing here today with my beautiful daughter. She's probably gonna be at high school, and be like, man, babe, anything is possible if you put your heart and your mind to it, as long as you got that support with you, So like when I told Candice, bro, you're an awesome advocate to come on, because your story is solid, man. To me, that's a beautiful West Auckland story. Yeah. Born and bred out west. Yeah. And bro, I'm proud of you. It's like, to me, I want to project more of these stories out there, because if it doesn't resonate with someone, there's going to be someone that hears it and is going to be like moved by it,
Yeah. Oh, totally. And
that story of coming out from grinding and having goals, going through the hardship, grinding through the hardship to get to where you want to be. You know what? I think my trip to Samoa ruined all that. I honestly think that now, because I'm hearing your story, and I'm thinking, man, I'm thinking about my struggles coming through uni and working up my work and all that. And then going to Samoa, and then that all goes out the window. All the you know what I mean? Like, maybe it doesn't go all out the window, because my hard work got me to get that job in Samoa. And me, but all the other stuff seems like it's not worth it in terms of like me living in Samoa, working there, and living their kind of lifestyle. Yeah, because when I think about what we have to strive in here in New Zealand, like the bills and and just working hard. Our time is just scheduled because we've got no time for anyone. Got no time for other families and friends like outside because we're so busy in our lives, working, doing our family stuff, getting kids to stuff, and everything to do with our daily lives here. You don't have to worry about any of that ever in Samoa, and that goes all out the window because it's all good.
I'll be honest, it's like the time factor thing is like, to me, it's like I look at it this way, like when you sacrifice, and you're the one going without, right? Like for example, like me, when I feed my kids, I'm the last to eat. I'll eat last. It was hard. It became foreign when my wife started making my plate first. Like to me, it was hard to accept that. To me, it's like feed the kids first. I'll eat whatever's left over. If she messages me, there's nothing left over, I'm like, all good, It becomes a time in your life where you have to be selfish. You got to look after yourself, and then you can start eating well. But you got to work, and it doesn't just come with the effect of like, I'll eat first, whatever's left over, then the kids miss out, because that's not your nature. Your nature is to be like, everything you do is for your family, and if you got a good support network with you, man, you're doing it as a team. Right? It's never like it's all for me, it's all for myself. But when you get past a certain point in your life, you should be thinking, man, I need to look after me and like do number one. But that's me growing up with my kids and at the ages that they're at now. But like that's like, to me, like this sounds like that was just a pit stop in your journey. Like, how old are we now? Like, we're still young, man. Like at the times that you said back in uni when there were older people than you doing other things. Right, it couldn't stop you from doing something else if you wanted to. It's just a matter of stepping out and taking that risk, Well, it's not even a risk. Then you're gonna qualify. If you got you qualified as a architect, bro, you could be a doctor if you wanted to. It's just a choice, really. And then opening up that conversation with your support network and getting it done.
I was just thinking about how, going back to your research again, talking about how we as Pasefika living in New Zealand and the priorities we have and how it affects our work, school, or any other thing. Man, I was just thinking about how, as an example, sports people like Kobe Bryant. I don't know if you know his story, but man, that guy, I don't know if I listened to this talk he had, and he was talking about how he prioritized his time to be the best, and it's like he put his work before his family. But he was lucky because his wife understood, and so it's that coming back to that understanding of your partner and your family, your family support. So it's I think everyone's different, because I think with what happened with what happened in the NBA with Kobe Bryant is that he did that because of Michael Jordan. Because Michael Jordan was the best. But he had to learn what Michael Jordan had to go through to be the best. So Michael Jordan probably did the same thing. And so Kobe had to do it too. But I think that kind of standard sets the standard for other people. It sets the bar real high. In a way where you have to make that sacrifice that no one else can do. If Kobe put his work first before his family, and his family understood that and let him do it, then that set the bar for if you want to go that high. If you want to be the king of that realm, that's what you need to do. Or what can you do better? Not have a family and just be 24/7. Because that's what Kobe's saying. Like, if you want to beat me, you gotta have no family and be yourself 24/7. Do this job because I'll outwork you. So then there's people like that ruined it for a lot of people, because when it comes to like the normal way of, under God's eyes, you have a family, and or moving together as one, like that. There's a ceiling for that, now, Like in the NBA, if, for example, if this was the NBA, then we can't reach Kobe because none of our wives will buy that, Like, what? Well, it's not gonna work with us, man.
No.
You in your late 50s and be like, oh, how many kids have you had? What? Sure. That's my grandson.
But the cool thing about his story is, unfortunately, he passed away because he had the accident and died. But when he retired from NBA, he dedicated his whole life to his family. Because he said he knew what the sacrifices they made. They made for him. for his 20
For him to
years,
elevate,
20
eh?
years of
Yeah.
in the NBA. That's why he dedicated his whole life to be with his family.
Yeah.
Do his family. He didn't think about basketball anymore.
That's
It was
right.
gone.
Then like an
Go-
academy with his
Yeah,
daughter,
with his daughter.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, and so man, it was sad.
Yeah.
It was sad that he only 2 years after he retired, and then before he passed away. But you know, he dedicated his whole life to his family after that because he knew that what they sacrificed.
Yeah.
But that's a journey that it'll be to me seeing his journey, and in a way where what makes him the best in that sport or makes him great.
Yeah.
He set the bar for if you want to match that.
Yeah.
Or be great.
Totally.
Like you got to do better than what he did.
You got to do sacrifices.
Yeah, you got to sacrifice. But he did the other way around.
Yeah.
With us.
Yeah.
There's no, I don't know, any other family will let their husband do that.
Well, when you say that, dude, like, I see how, like, because I've got a family who have up and left their family to do mine work.
Yeah.
But they're away for, like, months, man. And then they come back. Like, is that the closest we'll get to doing it? Like, for the coin, though? In terms of, like,
see, that's a moral thing then, eh?
Yeah.
We're doing it for the coin.
Doing it for the coin, but trying to get them in a better position. Because I find that, like, when I see people that are struggling here, when they, like, and I've said, like, sometimes you got to move away to get ahead. And, like, when they do make that move, it pays off. And then that's when they can up and bring everyone over to wherever they've moved to. But it's almost like a gamble, eh? It's a gamble, like, oh, man. It's not guaranteed that we're going to get a good job or good paying jobs or like even a house. But it's just the fact that when people up and go like that, like kids now like are getting picked up as like from scout talents to go and play league over in Oz. And so it's almost like they put their pressure on kids. If they make it, well, the family's just all up and gone and moved over.
Yeah, I've heard stories of it. Yeah,
and that's the norms now. Eh? Like, man, it's not like it's a one-off story. It's like a full-on. Nah.
But then